All right, let's get some wiring done today. And what do we have here? Hey, Rumster, you think I can get underneath that Jeep there and do some work today?
Welcome back. I'm Scott Schiller for Ron Fitzpatrick Jeep Parts and Team G503 here on YouTube. And we've been doing a series, we got into it a couple videos ago, where we're installing the electrical wiring harness and all little components on the G503 1943 Willys MB. In this video, I'm going to be taking the main wiring harness. In the last video, we installed the actual switch for all the lights and the harness on the inside there. And now we're going to take it to the back of the Jeep where the tail lights and all that good stuff is going to be back there. It's not real hard. I've got the tub up on a set of sawhorses that I did in the backyard. That's where I did the body work, and that's where I bolted on the accessories if you've been following the whole series. And the idea, the premise was, I'm going to do everything on those sawhorses. Now, it is horizontal. I did not turn the tub on its tail like a lot of you out there do, and I understand that, and it is easier to do it that way. However, get asked quite a bit in these videos. I've been doing this video series now. We're taking the whole thing apart and putting it back together. But a lot of folks are out there and they watch these videos and they say, hey, that's great, Scott, that you did that, but how do I do that if my Jeep is assembled? So I kind of thought we'd get the best of both worlds, and I could do it horizontally. And I know it's a little harder to get underneath the dashboard, and that's just the way it is. If you wanted to wire it, stand up, hey, that's more power to you. I did not do it that way. And guys that watch these and folks that watch these are going to be able to say, oh yeah, well, if I've got to replace just this one wire or this one wire, then I would have to get underneath that dashboard. So that's the reason for doing it this way. I'm going to install this harness, and then my ultimate goal, I got one more component I want to show you. It's not electrical, but had to do some certain things to be able to put that tub back on the chassis and get it all squared away there. That would have been really difficult otherwise. All right, let's dive into the harness. We will take it from the front to the back.
Let's start here. I've got my MB wire harness clip set from Ron Fitzpatrick Jeep Parts, and notice this diagram that actually shows you every location where there should be a clip, and you'll see the numbers that coincide with that. And here's the bag of clips that come all together, and what you need to do is if you locate one of your clips, and then on the back side of the instruction sheet you'll find a diagram that shows you the different sizes and locations of each individual clip. All you have to do is match up the side profile of your clip there, and it will tell you exactly where it needs to go, as I'm showing you here. I'm going to use a lot of the number 7s. There's 16 of those. I also purchased separately here a bag of hardware, and they're 10 by 24 screws with slotted heads and the lock washers and the coinciding nuts. Those will hold the clips in place. If you remember back to the video where we installed the main switch, we had the harness pulled out here, and now we've got some of these leads that come off the harness. There's a black with 2 tracers and a red with 3, and we're going to fasten those onto the terminal block here at the second and third locations from the driver's side. I'm using a slotted screwdriver here that's magnetic, and it's going to help me out here with keeping my fasteners in order. These like to jump off and fly all over the place as they are small and kind of hard to get your hands on. You'll go ahead and remove the screw on the terminal block, and you'll see there's a washer and a star washer on that actual screw. What you need to do is you need to put the star washer onto the screw first, and then the flat washer to the back. The star washer is going to bite into place the flat washer and keep all your wires tight to the terminal. There will be additional wires added on to this junction block here in the future, but for the time being, I'm just going to install what I need to and what I have available in order to keep everything separate, and that way I know exactly where everything goes, and I can show you this very clearly. On that second terminal from the driver's side outside of the tub, we're going to install the red with the 3 white tracers, and we'll just go ahead and tighten up the screw for the time being. Next, we'll install the black with 2 tracers on it on the third terminal from the outside edge of the driver's side of the tub, and do it the same way. Put your star washer on the screw, then the flat washer, then through the terminal, and then through the junction block. Just go ahead and give that a snug up for the time being too. Again, there's going to be different wires attached here. I just want to get what I need to attached for the time being. Now that I've got those 2 wires secure, this is the fun part. You get to take the main harness that's all wrapped up there in the wiring tape and pull it to the side of your junction block, and you see that hole right above that screw to the left there, and that's where our first clip is going to go and hold that in place. It's important to get this one correct, because if you have too less or too much slack inside that harness, you'll have a difficult time when you get to the rear end of the tub where the taillights are. We'll just go ahead and put the clip around the outside of the harness, and I'll show you a little trick here on how I get these crimped together so they're nice and neat and the holes line up for the screws. First, I take like a pair of channel locks or a pair of needle nose pliers, and I squeeze the outside edges or the 2 square parts together first, and then I turn them to the side and give that round piece just a little bit of a crimp so it keeps the roundness and lines up the 2 screws holes. If you've been watching this series, you know that I've already installed my firewall pad on the inside of the tub. So we're going to have a little issue when I have to install this bolt. What I've got here is I've got a fastener that actually came with the firewall pad kit that was extra. And I'm going to use that to go through the firewall pad in order for that not to pull out if I just used a regular lock washer, screw, and a nut. I'm using an awl to punch a hole through the firewall pad, and then I'll reach inside and install the clip. After the clip's installed, I can install the screw and the clip from the outside and fasten it tightly with a screwdriver. Again, that C-clip I showed you just a few seconds ago in the video will not pull through the firewall pad like a regular lock washer and nut would. We'll follow down the harness here to about maybe 2 feet or so below the opening there in the firewall, and you'll see these 3 wires, a red wire, a blue wire, and a black wire. These go to the dimmer switch that's on the floor on the driver's side. Before we do that, we'll have to install the harness through the lower circle in the front gusset of the tub. Just simply slip the harness through and feed all the lines through the side, and after you do that, you can coil this back up just to keep it neat and out of your way. It'll make it easier when we wire the high-low beam switch. Thought I'd add this. While I was actually working on this wiring harness here, I looked down here and there's my buddy Remy, and he's been out there laying in the dirt there watching me work on this harness now for about an hour. He uses the tub for the past year as his clubhouse, as I've kept it covered up with a blue tarp. So how you doing, Rem? You like what's going on? Back to the high-low switch. If you notice right above the high-low switch there at an angle, there's a hole in the floorboard, and here would be the hole for our clutch pedal. We need to fasten that wiring harness away so the clutch pedal does not rub up and down on the harness or hang up on it. The clip that I'm using is the number 11 clip according to the Ron Fitzpatrick Jeep Parts clip set. It's a little longer in the legs than the first one we used, and we'll keep it nice and tight the same way. We'll measure up and keep the harness taut, and then we'll figure out where that hole goes and go ahead and clip the clip to the wiring harness. I'm using a 1024 by 1 inch slotted head screw and push it through the floorboard, and then we can attach the lock washer and the nut to the clip and go ahead and tighten that up. It'll keep the harness right in place and right where we need it to be to wire the high-low beam switch. Unless you have little skinny magnetic fingers, this proves to be one of the more difficult things while you're doing the harness, is installing the lock washer and nut onto these clips. They're tiny and they like to fall out. I found a trick that if you hang the lock washer onto the threads of the screw and then you use your fingers to hold the nut against the flat of that clip, it makes it a little easier to get it started, and you can go from the back side with a flat head screwdriver and tighten that up. After you're done, you'll get it really snug by putting a wrench on it and giving it a final turn. Let's take a look here at the 3 wires that are coming out of the side of the harness. We have the red with the white tracers, and we have the black with the white tracers. Those are your high-low beams for your headlights, and then we have the blue with the 3 tracers on it, and that is the battery or the power side. We're going to connect that to the front terminal. In this case, on Joe's motor pool floor switch, is the terminal foremost and in the center of the switch. Bend the wire upwards. If you try to go backwards, it's going to be in the way of the other circuits that have to be connected to the switch. Like other areas and circuits that we've already installed, there's a lock washer that has a little leg on it that has to go into a little opening that's on the front side of the terminal. It's a little difficult to get into, but make sure you get that leg secured into that hole and opening before you tighten the screw back down. Next, we'll install the red wire with the white tracers to the top post of the floor switch. Bend the wire downwards and upwards, as I'm showing you here, kind of like a hook, and that will keep it out of the way of the other 2 wires. Install the screw in the star washer and then connect it to the top post of the high-low beam switch. I should probably mention there are different manufacturers of these floor switches, and some of the terminals are going to be different than what I'm showing you here. In the case of Joe's motor pool, this is the way that it was diagrammed to me to be wired. The next wire we'll attach finally is the black wire with the white tracers, and that's going to go to the lower post or terminal on the floor switch. Again, loop the wire down and then back up kind of like a hook, and it'll make it easy to install, and it'll keep the wires separated and not touching each other. Once I've double checked that everything's nice and tight, I'll give you a shot here with the camera from the top angle so you can see how this looks looking down on it. And next part that we're going to do here, now that we've got this all wired up, is now we have to actually get underneath the tub and pull that harness to the back side of the tub. Underneath the driver's side, you'll see this clip here that's been welded to the bottom side of this tub. This would have been the same way it would have came out of the factory. Sometimes these are missing and can be fabricated. We'll put a little tension on the harness here just so it keeps it taut and you're not getting yourself a bunch of slack. And then the harness is inserted inside that clip, and then the clip can be bent around to hold the harness in place underneath the driver's side floorboard. The next location would be the hat channel midway, where you see the mounting bolt there that got snapped off that goes to the chassis. Luckily for me, I did have the factory holes and clips that were on there when I disassembled the Jeep and did all the bodywork to it. I'm going to be using a number 10 screw. These are available at Ron Fitzpatrick Jeep Parts. They're kind of difficult to find at local hardware stores. This is a number 7 clip that's on the list again, and notice how I've got my loop facing away from the outside of this bolt that I'm going to have to fix. Thumbs down, Scott Schiller, you should have did that from the beginning. It's really not that big a deal. I'll drill and tap it before I mount the body onto the tub. The next location for the harness, there's a hole here in the lip of the rear riser, and then there's a bolt that holds the floor foot support down, and we're going to have to remove the nut and lock washer off of that. Again, I'm using a 10/24 by 1 inch machine screw here, and we're going to put the head on the lip and the bottom of the threads facing upwards. I've also got the lock washer and the nut. We're going to go ahead and install the number 7 clip, and then next we're going to have to pull the wire taut to that floor footrest bolt, and we'll use the number 10 clip as per the Ron Fitzpatrick Jeep Parts list. That's got a larger opening to fit that bolt instead of just the screws we've been using. Here's the angle that I've got it at. You almost bend it at almost a 90-degree angle and get it to go to that bolt. This enables the harness to miss the points that it might contact with when we install the tub onto the frame. I drilled a hole through the floor about 2 inches away from the center there of the shock tower and installed a 10/24-inch screw in line with that last hole there that's in the hat channel. Some Jeeps have a clip just like the one we had in the front that you can wire that through, but I'm just going to go ahead and use a clip as opposed to try to weld one in at this point. The tub is installed in the chassis here, and I'll show you the wiring harness as it goes past all the different cross members on the frame. And you can see here I've got those last 2 clips installed. I've used blue tape on the back to keep those in order until we can get to wiring the taillights. I've got the harness out on the bench and it's ready to go.
There you have it. That's how we did it. And you got a little doggy laying down there, my faithful lab. That would be Remy, or the Remster, as I call him. And he's going to be upset when I pull that tub out of there because he's had a little camp out clubhouse underneath that tub for quite a while, and he's going to be upset. All right, if you'd like to follow along what we're doing the 1943 Willys MB, and I'm personally inviting you to do so, you can subscribe to Team G503 down there, hit the subscribe button, and then there's a bell button down there also. Will give you notifications of when we release the next videos. Part 5 should be out shortly. Now that we've got this harness all in, I'm gonna skip a video and do one more thing that I've got to do to be able to put that tub on the chassis, and then we'll install the tub on the chassis, and then we'll continue with our wiring video. But I'll let you know. You'll see that big number there. You know, it's got part 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then eventually we're gonna put everything together in a huge long video, and then we'll have it all in one spot at one time for you folks out there who need to know how to wire up your Jeep. Until next time, my friends, keep it safe. Happy Jeeping.